So we're back for Golf Therapy Thursdays and Life on Tour Mark 2 because we had some great feedback from our first one. We thought we'd do it again and chat a little bit more about life on tour. But let me remind you first about Dennise Hutton and her background, because a lot of you won't know that Dennise is a two-time winner on the European Tour, and she's also, you were ranked top 5 on the European Tour at one point.
That's right, Annie. Yeah, my best year.
Best year, and won a car for a hole-in-one. So Dennise has had an amazing career and now been teaching for, 20, 30 years.
We won't say. And also, Annie, I'm sure all your students know that you also won on tour, which, there's not that many people in Australia who won on tour, and that you hold the lowest record for 18 holes, a record of 63. So,
and I was pregnant.
And you were pregnant, lowest centre of gravity, I think.
That's right, with Ben, my oldest. So, yeah, I must have been all chilled.
It's great to be back chatting with you.
Yeah, it is. It's good fun. So we wanted to reminisce a bit more about life on tour and the fact that it's sort of a real travelling circus. And some people said to me about caddies and how much of a relationship you have with the caddies and how close they are in and around. And I know when we were on tour, they became a big part of the travelling circus and part of the family, and a lot of players ended up having relationships with caddies, and it was sort of like gossip. And
I married mine and divorced him.
That's not true. Dennise was already married when
I was engaged.
Oh, were you? Yeah. And John was caddying.
Yeah,
we talked about that last time, I think, didn't we? So I think they have a quite a close bond, because when you're out on the course and you're playing, you really depend on your caddy, don't you?
They are really your team. A good caddy is priceless, and that's why they get paid a reasonable, good income as well. But they are priceless because they can keep you cool.
That's right.
They kind of help with your club selection. A
lot of people say to me, if they're going to play match play or something, should I get a caddy, or I don't feel confident or comfortable having a caddy, and I always say definitely have a caddy, because it just takes away all of those little extra things that you have to worry about. And one of my green room members, she was going into the final of the club championships, and she was offered a caddy, and she said to me, I don't know whether I should. And I said, definitely. And she said it was the best thing that she'd ever done.
I think you have to be careful, though, because if you get a caddy, your personalities have to go together.
Very true.
I think there has to be an understanding. So when we had our caddies on tour, you'd have an understanding, this is what I'd like you to do.
That's right.
Vice versa. And
so
you got to
could take a while to work out who are good.
Exactly.
You might go through a few.
Yeah.
To kind of, there was a lot of mixing and matching going on, wasn't there? No. There wasn't that many relationships. It was just the odd one, and it would be the talk of the tour, wouldn't it? Everyone would know, sort of thing. Anyway, moving on from caddies. So I have a story that I remember that I thought I would share, and this was going back to the early days when a lot of us would share a room. And I remember at one point where there was about 5 of us sharing a hotel room, and we were all kind of spread out in different, different parts of the room. And it was the middle of the night, and we all got woken up to one of the girls like having a nightmare/dream, and she was saying, it's 150 metres, it's uphill, it's into the wind.
She's going through her routine.
And one of the other girls, we're all wide awake by now, and one of the other girls goes, it's a 5-iron, shut up and go to sleep.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that was...
But that is happening. I'm sure your students, and mine the same, they sort of, I'm amazed how they are thinking about their golf the night before, and a couple of mine are have nightmares, and I'm like, you're playing for
too
fun.
stressful.
Come on,
taking it. Yeah, that's true. A lot of women say they can't sleep the night before they play, especially when they're new to the game, and it's all a bit stressful.
It means a lot to them.
That's right. Sure. You will get over that. If you're thinking you'll never get past that, it gets easier. And you had a story, Dee, that you were going to share with everyone about playing golf with Laura Davies, who most people will know who Laura is. She was
phenomenal.
Number 1 on our tour at the time, and she hits the ball so much further. She used to hit the ball further than pretty much anybody else on the tour at the time.
By a long way.
By a long way. And you used to have to try really hard not to try and keep up with her, playing. If you were trying to hit it as far as your game would then go completely. Yeah. So that's a real lesson in playing your own game.
So my story was, we were playing in Italy. It was the last round, and we both ended up shooting 69, which I think was like 4 or 5 under par, something like that. No, it wouldn't be that much, but forget what it was. It was good.
It was a good score.
It was a good score. And I always remember these last 4 holes. Laura would hit on a par 4. It was a dogleg right. She hit it onto the green with the driver. I hit a smashing drive down, 100 metres from the green. So she's like that far in front.
I know,
she was
amazing.
But we both birdied it. I chipped and one putted. She 2-putted, and then the next hole, uphill par 3, she hits a 9-iron, I hit a 5-iron, or
wow.
even a 4. It was just...
That's hugely different, isn't it?
Hugely different. It was like David and Goliath, really. That's what it felt like.
It's very hard not to get caught up in and feel the need to push and push. You really have to play your own game.
Play your own game, stick to your own routine.
Yeah.
And know what you're capable of doing. There was no way I was ever going to hit the ball as far as Laura Davies in my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
So I would plot my way around the golf course, which is what your viewers need to do. Just say, this is me, this is
That's
what
right.
I do.
This is how I play golf.
And in the end, at par 5, she'd be on in 2.
And you ended up with the same score.
We ended up with the same score.
Isn't that amazing?
But I must say, it would have been easier putting than pitching. And all
golf is a bit easier when you hit the ball so far.
But you've got to go with what your build is.
Absolutely.
You've got to know your own game, no matter what level you are. And
play your own game.
That can drop 5 shots off your score. Not a problem.
Absolutely. Golf's a selfish game. Go into your own zone, go into your own routine, and forget everybody else and just focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And have
awesome
fun.
Story. And I thought we should finish up with... we talked a little bit about how it's actually quite hard to come off tour at the end of your career. And it took a while to adjust, didn't we? You go from this sort of different country every week and, the whole kind of excitement.
Quite a glamorous lifestyle.
Quite a glamorous...
You're in France, you're here, you're there, you're like the travelling circus, but
that's right.
You're the specialty of the town.
It's totally rarefied, isn't it? No one really, other than people in the sort of that industry, can understand what that's really like. And then to come off tour and sort of...
I found when I came off tour, because I was only on for 5 years, when I came off tour, I was pregnant with Sam, and I got really a bit annoyed, not that I was pregnant, well, probably, but that it was like the male pros, they were still having a life, their wives were pregnant, but they were still playing golf, where I'm not, and then
no money coming in.
Money coming in. Like who makes my bed? Who does the cooking?
Where's the maid?
Where's the maid? Because we're travelling each week.
Yeah, that's right. You get very spoiled. You get so spoiled.
And it was really hard to adjust. And I think you also, because you've been away a lot overseas, you lose contact with a lot of your old friends.
Yeah,
so when you come back, they've moved on. They're in a different phase.
And what do you do as a golf pro? You really don't have a lot of options. You've got teaching.
Yeah, which is a wonderful option.
And teaching.
First option, teaching.
Or teaching. It's about it.
But it's great.
It is. And if that's your kind of your aptitude is good for teaching, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've both made a wonderful career out of, and we've been really lucky in that respect. But if that's not really you,
it would be very
hard.
Because I remember a few of the girls who are prominent players would say to me, and probably said the same to you, Annie, Dee, why do you coach? We'll do that when we can no longer play. And I go, because I love coaching, so playing was secondary.
Yeah,
but for them,
that's right. And for most people, it would
not
be
like for you and myself,
playing and then teaching second.
Yeah, so you have to have that good personality.
And then emotionally coming back down, off tour. You can understand why a lot of sports people struggle to come off.
Because you are like a little star for a little while.
Yeah, in your own little world.
In your own little world, and you come back and
then you're not a star. You're a nobody.
And you've got to work. Do work, like scrub floors and stuff. I don't like that.
Well, not quite. Well, thank you, Dee, for chatting with me again. It was great fun.
Annie, and I hope your viewers really enjoy it.
Yeah.
We've been friends for such a long time, so this is really great.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have known each other and had a life in golf,
yes,
really.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you, Annie.